Hi everyone, it's Ryan here, and welcome to another episode of Blockchain Markets. And today we're going to talk about another interesting infrastructure project. I'm here today with Long Vuon, CEO and founder of Tomochain. Hi, Long.
Hi Ryan, thanks for having me here.
No, thank you. And I got from the community a lot of requests to talk more about Tomochain and what Tomochain is about, and then what are you guys doing also in terms of scalability, which I think it's interesting, and then we can discuss it in during today's interview. But before we get to that, I think it would be good if you can introduce yourself to the guys in the community that don't know about your background.
So hello, my name is Long Vuon. So basically, many people knew me as I co-founded NEM in 2014, and but I left the project quite early in late 2014, and in 2016 we started a new project called Tomochain. Originally, we tried to build a DApp on top of Ethereum, but like in early mid 2017, we moving the focus to work more the infrastructure layer and try to build a more scalable alternative to Ethereum, which is Tomochain now. Um, I have a background in economics. I got my PhD in the University of Massachusetts. And that's why I co-founded NEM project in my last year. I actually tried to study engineering as well. After I left NEM, I did a bootcamp program and I study programming. And certainly I'm more like on the research and product side, because I don't do a lot of hand-on coding at the moment. I think yeah, that's about me.
Yeah, that's very interesting because of NEM being a huge infrastructure project. So also, I guess you took part of that experience. For now that we're talking about infrastructure, maybe if you could explain to the people that don't know in the community what Tomochain is.
So in short, Tomochain is an alternative solution to Ethereum blockchain, which is more, we think it is more scalable, and we provide zero transaction fee and 2-second confirmation. We actually have several kind of like innovative techniques such as double confirmation, and all the infrastructure is based on a master node architecture. So which is also differentiation from us to um, other public blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. You mentioned something that it's relevant. I think the part of the transactions per second and the also the fees or the non-existent fees for transactions. Now at the moment that we see also in some cases in some projects the fees are too high, so it's not practical, right? How does that work in Tomochain with the zero fees?
So I think we got the experience from working with Ethereum blockchain, and we saw the issue since early 2017. Ultimately, in late 2017, there are so many new interests and a new DApp coming to Ethereum, and the fee actually got very high, and network was congested when I think the CryptoKitty was introduced, right? So now I think at this point, I think scalability is one of the biggest challenge and issue that's many alternative public blockchain trying to tackle, right? So I think like we can control the fee, right? It's the amount of fee we charge normal transaction in a block. That's basically, I think there's uh, no technical barrier to have low fee unless you have many transactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of transactions. And then some. One way to do it is to increase the block size, and I try to like make the TPS number as high as possible. If you can make the transaction per second number higher, then you can have very low fee and still accommodate a lot of transactions and the app.
And now that you mentioned scalability and the case of what happened with the Ethereum network last year that we all know with the CryptoKitties, so how would Tomochain avoid a problem like CryptoKitties problem on the network?
So Ethereum right now is having 15 transactions per second. So I think fee is not, like I said before, fee is not actually is not the issue. I think the network can control the fee as long as the network can handle a large number of transactions, right? So the reason that the fee is went up for Ethereum is like it's hitting a bottleneck on the number of transactions it can handle as for a network as a whole, right? Which is 15 transactions per second. And it was not just last year. I think there was an issue with an exchange just recently. They did like a giveaway, right, or a game that's sending a lot of token to user on Ethereum, and it made the fee really high in the last 2 weeks. I think so. The idea here is that we try to build a system that can handle a large volume of transactions per second, right? So at least 1,000 TPS, that's the minimum number, which we already have on the testnet at the moment.
And maybe something interesting to discuss is in what stage are you at the moment? You mentioned that you can handle now 1,000 TPS, and what is in the roadmap for the coming months in terms of transactions per second or throughput?
Yeah. So we actually have the testnet that can run 1,000 transactions per second self-service. We like at the point we did the ICO, we already have that for the testnet. The idea here is that we use a very simple consensus algorithm called POA at that point, right? And we try to make sure that the full node can handle a large number of transactions.
Got it.
And limit the number of nodes. That technique is called like on-chain scaling.
Yeah.
There are several other approach as well, but the first thing we do is try the on-chain scaling. And I think we already have that, and we are moving toward a new consensus algorithm at the moment called POSP, which is a proof of stake voting.
Interesting.
The idea here is that I think this is like it's a debate between our team, right? When we hit like 1,000 transactions per second, we think that's it already pretty good, right? Because the Ethereum is doing 15 transactions per second,
yeah.
And which is the most popular network at the moment. So we think that's okay. So how can we make the system more permissionless, right? And involve more coin holder into the system instead of just doing a simple POA consensus. That's why we research and move to work a new consensus algorithm we call proof of stake voting. Basically, the idea here is that we have a fixed number of master nodes, which currently is 99, but the coin holder can actually vote for the master node, and the master node are the one who create new block and validate new transaction.
Perfect. And there are 99 in the network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is also like we decided the number 99 like 2 months ago, right? And like 3 months ago, when we decided to do like the masternode architecture. Currently, I think in our research team, we are working on the sharding solution.
Yeah, that's interesting. For now that we were talking
and
about scalability.
yeah. And one particular property of sharding is that if you have a bigger number of nodes, you can handle a larger number of transactions. Yeah. So we published the technical paper, I think one month and a half ago, and we probably will publish a new economic paper in the next month or two. There might be a change to increase the number of master nodes to like 150, depending on our sharding research.
Oh,
that's not really new information. It was not in the technical paper, but that is a discussion right now. Yeah,
and that's interesting. So then that would be a way for you to scale plus sharding, right?
Yeah. So basically, there are like several approach to scalability, right? You can do a payment channel, which is have been researched like several years with Lightning Network on Bitcoin, right, and Raiden on Ethereum. We can move to proof of stake, right, which Ethereum is going to do at some point. Right? Then you can do a plasma framework. We also look at the plasma, which basically building a new sidechain, but it is attached to the main chain using kind of like plasma framework proposed by Vitalik and Joseph Pom, right? And the next one is the sharding and on-chain scaling. I think that's like the two big direction we are taking right now. Of course, Tomochain is already like a version of proof of stake.
Very, very interesting. I think like the other thing that of course is very important in every platform is on the one hand the scalability, but also the security and interoperability. Maybe now we can discuss in terms of security. How can Tomochain make sure that the network is secure?
I think so. We take security very, very seriously because blockchain, in a way, we trying to build like a new internet of value on top of blockchain. So there will be a lot of token, a lot of financial value on blockchain, and they have to be secure, right? They have to be very, very, very difficult to break in order for people to trust it and to use it. So we definitely take security seriously, and I think the POSP algorithm is somewhat similar to DPoS from EOS and BitShares, if you read into it, right?
Yeah.
And one of the way we try to make it more secure is to innovate with the double validation algorithm. Basically, the idea here is that in the dedicated proof of stake, or like in EOS, they have 21 block producer, right? And each block producer can produce a new block in order, right? And if one block producer miss a turn, then the next one will produce a new block. We think that this, of course, there is a mechanism in which the block producer have to deposit their coin into the smart contract, so that if they like produce a wrong block or try to make a double spending, they will lose the deposits, right? Yeah. What we do, we still like the double validation is an improving over it on the security guarantee, because we try to pick the second random master node to validate the new block produced by the first master node. So in any new block, there will be two master nodes involved in creating it.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have to stake their coin in the smart contract. And if one of them, right, make the wrong decision, and they can lose the deposits. So we call this is a double validation feature.
Mm-hmm.
And the second master node is chosen randomly, which is also like quite difficult to do because making like a true random number in the blockchain now in computing is not easy. So we found a way when reading Cardano literature,
Mm-hmm.
and we make some change over it based on the smart contract. So I think one of the thing we really proud of is a double validation algorithm to make the whole new block creation more secure and more stable.
And in terms of interoperability, what is Tomochain doing to make it easy to talk to other blockchains at the moment or in the roadmap?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting because we already did a smart contract, like interchain smart contract when we did the ICO, so like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh.
So you can actually test it on the 10S, check it on the 10S. So the idea here is just we can deploy as the same smart contract on Ethereum and Tomochain because we're using the same EVM.
Okay.
That is a virtual machine, right? Right. So when a full node when one full node which run both Tomochain and Ethereum, right? This full node can process both smart contracts at the same time. So the way a token can be moved from one chain to another is the token will be sent to the smart contract address on Ethereum chain, for example, and the smart contract will hold that token and release a new token on Tomochain.
Perfect.
So it will like mirror one-to-one of the token on, so the token can live on both chains at the same time.
Perfect.
So we already have that. We have the smart contract running, and it has been working well so far, like for 3-4 months. I think so. We're going to explore it in more detail a bit later because there are still some issues. For example, like if the full node, the smart contract in one chain is still working, but on the other chain it has some error, like the fee is not enough, the gas is not sufficient. Mm-hmm. So what is going to happen, right? So because it's on Tomochain, and but thing happen on the Ethereum chain already. Thing already have been done on the Ethereum chain, right? So there will be some new condition written into the smart contract to handle the situation. So I think there's still some more work to be done on that side. Mm-hmm. But I think it's doable. We're going to look into the interchain communication a little bit in more detail later. Currently, we more focus on building up the mainnet for Tomochain.
Interesting, and so that's for Ethereum, right? Because you both are using the same, or you're using Ethereum's virtual machine. Then the smart contracts can communicate. Now, with regards to other big blockchains like Cardano, for example, Stellar, or EOS, or others, are you looking also into integrating with or communicating with those other blockchains in the future?
Stella doesn't have a smart contract, so Stella
yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I think so, because we have good relationship with some other blockchain, such as Neo, right, and Eden Chain. We talk with Eden Chain is using EVM as well, but we talk with Neo quite often. Of course, with NEM as well. So I think in principle, if the blockchain has smart contract, right? So then interchain communication is possible, right? But
Yeah.
We will focus on blockchain which support EVM first,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just easier, right? It's just
Yeah.
easier to write the same smart contract and it run on both or three chain at the same time. We of course can kind of code the smart contract into a different programming language for Neo, for Cardano. It's
Mm-hmm.
doable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it makes sense to start with Ethereum, since it's the most popular and used, of course, right now. Speaking of which, on more popular and at the moment, you're looking forward to start also an ecosystem for decentralized apps, right? For dApps. Do you have a specific vertical that you're looking into, like more like financial services dApps, or are you looking for different industries or different verticals?
Yeah, I think so, because we already have the testnet available.
Yeah.
We actually pay attention to the document. We also have a Twitter channel, so the developer can actually talk with the core team to discuss technical issue. And we are working with several team at the moment. I think on the vertical side, I saw a lot of interest on supply chains. I think the security token is a big area, a really good area to explore. We actually working with advertising company. We working with marketplace company as well. So I think at this point we don't really like strategize on a certain vertical. We try to work with any project who want to scale to have a better performance blockchain.
For all the developers that are listening to this interview, where can they go apart? Well, I guess they can go to your and to your GitHub, but they can follow on and go to their website. Are you guys doing any hackathons, for example, so they can or like, where are you not now? To what's your strategy to attract developers to build on top of Tomochain?
So we are actually having a hackathon this weekend, right, on the 21st and 22nd this month in Hanoi.
Oh, that's good timing.
We have like 10 team. I think 10 team, which is they are also quite strong because they are professional team. And the hackathon is like, you know, we let them choose the topic, right? And they can work on the topic for 1 week, and then we have a day to like 24 hours to prepare the coding presentation. It will be really fun this Sunday. We invited Signum Capital, one of our pre-sale investor, and also Eden Chain to join us in Hanoi. And I think this is like more localized hackathon because we invited more people and more development team from locally.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it's the 21st in Hanoi. So for all the developers that are in the Hanoi area that are looking into this interview, just contact the Tomochain to learn more about the hackathon they're running on the 21st. I think we have covered like almost everything. We went through what Tomochain is. We covered the scalability, the interoperability, how Tomochain is tackling the security as well. But that you have at the moment 99 master nodes, and you possibly planning to move that to 150. That you're also looking for other options for scalability, as like sharding as well. I don't know if there's anything else Long that we haven't discussed that you would like to mention.
I think it's many people and investors also asking us about like master node review. We going to publish an economic paper about the master node review in month definitely like way before the mainnet. The idea here is that I think the public blockchain is a really important property, right? And it should belong to the public in a way that we have the community running the blockchain, the infrastructure, instead of just one company. So we really try to incentivize partner and the app project. So basically, when we talk with the app project, I always said like, okay, you want to build on Tomochain, so let's run a master node with us. So I think that's the message we also want to send out, right? Trying to, I think everyone can try to support the Tomochain, the public blockchain, and you can get a certain reward for that as well.
Well, that's also interesting. Well, as I said before, for everybody that is listening to this interview, you want to learn more about Tomochain. What can they do, Long? Where can they know more about Tomochain, or if it is just for building a dApp, or if they want to know more generic information about Tomochain?
I think the best source of information is in our website, tomochain.com, where we hosted the technical paper. You can go to Telegram channel where the core team can answer the question directly. For the more technical technical people and developer, you can go to our github.tomochain to chat with the core dev and to look at our GitHub. I think it's the onboarding process to Tomochain is somewhat very easier, not very, but easier than as a alternative blockchain, because we are very similar in architecture to Ethereum, and we using EVM. So if you are already thinking, about building something on Ethereum, building some dApp, then you can test with Tomochain, you can test with Ethereum. We don't really want to, we don't force you to use Tomochain or something, but I think Tomochain is a good, a solid alternative that you can try out. It could be a good host for your application.
So guys, you heard, if you're planning to run or build a dApp on Ethereum, you can also try on Tomochain, and then you can make the decision afterwards. But it's a good alternative, at least, to have that is more scalable at the moment. Well, having said that, thank you very much, Long, for taking the time to tell the community more about what Tomochain is and what you guys are doing in creating a more scalable public blockchain. And yeah, as I said, thank you very much, and I hope we can see that we can have a catch-up conversation in a few months to see how everything is going with the Tomochain and how the network has been growing and the ecosystem has been developing.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, and I'll see you all, guys, in the next interview. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.